All right, so this is my Week 16 NBA Power Rankings. Let's get started. Starting off with our injuries, there's a little bit of stuff to mention. Jalen Johnson is injured for the season for the Hawks. Other than that, you guys can mainly look at this yourself. That's just what I wanted to mention to you guys. But yeah, moving on from there, we are going to have our top performances back. I didn't have time to do it last week, but I got them back for you guys this week. And again, you guys can look at this here, mainly yourself. But next up is going to be number 30, the Charlotte Hornets. They went 0-4 this week, so they're going to drop 4 spots here. Obviously not a very good week. I'll get over here for you guys. But yeah, obviously not a very good week here for the Hornets. They lost to the Nets, the Clippers, the Nuggets, and they lost to the Washington Wizards. Next up is the New Orleans Pelicans. They went 0-3 this week. They have now lost 6 straight games, sitting at 12-38. Not very good for them. They're going to drop 2 spots. They lost to the Mavericks, the Celtics, and the Nuggets. They did play 3 good teams, but still did not get a single win. Number 28 is the Washington Wizards. So they did go 2-2 this week. They had a 16-game losing streak, so it's good to see them break that. They lost to the Raptors and Lakers, but then they finally beat the Timberwolves and they beat the Charlotte Hornets. Next up is the Utah Jazz. So they're 11-37 right now. They had a 1-3 week. They are going to actually jump up a couple of spots because they did, also get a win this week, which is good, for them. They lost to the Warriors, Timberwolves, and the Pacers, but they finally beat the Orlando Magic. And they also made some minor trades. They traded Patty Mills and Drew Eubanks for PJ Tucker and Mo Bamba, and then they ended up cutting Mo Bamba anyways. And they also got Jalen Hood-Schifino in that Luka Anthony Davis deal. Next up is the Chicago Bulls. They're going to drop 1 spot after a 1-2 week, 21-29. They also traded away Zach LaVine. They had a 1-2 week, losing to the Celtics and Pistons, and they beat the Toronto Raptors. And then, of course, like I just said, they traded Zach LaVine away, which, currently makes the roster, worse on paper, than it would have been with him. 25 is the Brooklyn Nets. They're going to jump up 3 spots. They had a 2-0 week, so only played 2 games, but they did go undefeated in the week, so that's good. They beat the Hornets, and they beat the Houston Rockets, who are a really good team, so that's a very good win there. 24 is the Atlanta Hawks. They had a 1-3 week. They're going to drop 2 spots here. Not looking great here for Atlanta. They had a 7-game losing streak at one point this week, but they finally got a win in their last game of the week. They lost to the Rockets, the Cavs, and the Pacers, who are 3 pretty solid teams there, and then they beat the Detroit Pistons. So again, not horrible because they did play 3 pretty good teams, but they also lost Jalen Johnson to a season-ending injury, so that definitely hurts them a little bit more. 23 Orlando Magic. They're going to drop 3 spots. They had an 0-3 week, not looking good right now. The last few weeks here for Orlando, they lost to the Blazers, the Jazz, and the Warriors, which none of those teams are necessarily good teams right now. So that's definitely a bad week here for Orlando. 22 Detroit Pistons. They're going to drop 1 spot. They had a 2-2 week, sitting right around 500. So again, not really bad here for Detroit. They just dropped 1 spot because that's kind of the way things fell around. And they lost to the Pacers and the Hawks. And they beat the Mavericks and the Bulls. Number 21 is going to be the Philadelphia 76ers. They're actually going to jump up 2 spots after having a 2-2 week of their own. I thought they played, better teams than the Pistons, so that's why they're going to move up 2 spots. They beat the Lakers and the Kings and lost to the Nuggets and the Celtics. Number 20 is going to be the Toronto Raptors. They had a 2-1 week, but they are actually going to drop 1 spot here. They beat the Wizards and the Clippers, and they lost to the Chicago Bulls. Number 19 is going to be the Portland Trailblazers. They had a 4-0 week, so they're actually going to jump up 5 spots here. Really good for them. And they played 4 really solid teams. They played the Bucks, the Magic, who are less solid than the other teams, but they played the Bucks and the Suns twice. So some really good wins for Portland this week. Number 18, the Miami Heat. They had a 1-1 week. They are going to drop 2 spots here, but not a bad week. 1-1 is pretty solid, for them at this stage. They lost to the Cavs by 20 and beat the Spurs by 2. Number 17 is the Dallas Mavericks. They're going to drop 2 spots. They had a 1-2 week, this week. They beat the Pelicans, but they lost to the Pistons and the Cavs. And then, of course, they traded Luka for Anthony Davis. So that, take that as you will. I will do a NBA trade deadline reactor video, like ranker video or whatever, once the deadline is officially over on Thursday. So I'm not really going to talk too much about my thoughts on these trades in this video. Sorry. Number 16, Sacramento Kings. They're going to drop 4 spots after having a 1-2 week. Lost to the Sixers and Thunder, and then beat the Timberwolves. And then, of course, they traded away De'Aaron Fox for Zach LaVine. Number 15, Golden State Warriors. They're going to jump up 3 spots. A 3-1 week for them, really solid. Right now, they beat the Jazz, they beat the Thunder, who are a really good team, beat the Magic, and they lost to the Phoenix Suns. So yeah, they're only 1 loss to a good Suns team, so not too bad for them. Number 14, Milwaukee Bucks. They're going to drop 4 spots. 0-4 week for them. They didn't necessarily play, if I'm not mistaken. I'm trying to find them here. They didn't necessarily play the best team. They lost to the Blazers this week. Or they lost to the Spurs. They did lose to the Grizzlies and Thunder as well, who are, really solid teams, of course. But losing to the Blazers like that, obviously not ideal for Milwaukee. Number 13, Phoenix Suns. They're going to drop 2 spots, have a 1-3 week. So they got 25-24 right now. Here in the Western Conference, but this week they lost to the Timberwolves, they lost to the Blazers twice, not a great look, and they did beat the Golden State Warriors. Number 12 is going to be the San Antonio Spurs. So they went 1-3 this week, but I actually am going to jump them up 5 spots, and that is mainly because of that De'Aaron Fox trade. It very clearly makes them better on paper. They lost to the Clippers, the Heat, and the Grizzlies, who are all solid teams as well, and they dominated the Milwaukee Bucks by 26 points. Number 11 is the Los Angeles Clippers. They're going to jump up 3 spots. They had a 2-1 week. Looking good for them. They beat the Spurs and the Hornets, and they lost to the Toronto Raptors. Also, traded away Mo Bamba and PJ Tucker for Patty Mills and Drew Eubanks. Number 10 is the Minnesota Timberwolves. They're going to drop 4 spots. Had a 2-2 week. Not a horrible week. Again, 2-2 isn't bad, but they did lose to the Washington Wizards this week. Gave them their first win after they had a 16-game losing streak. That's not a good look. They also lost to the Kings, and they beat the Suns and the Jazz. Number 9 is going to be the Indiana Pacers, jumping up 4 spots. They had a 3-0 week, looking really good right now for Indiana. They beat the Pistons, the Hawks, and the Jazz this week. Number 8 is the Denver Nuggets, jumping up 1 spot after a 3-1 week. Really solid week for them. Their 1 loss this week was against the New York Knicks. They beat the Sixers, the Hornets, and the Pelicans this week. Number 7, Los Angeles Lakers, going to stay the exact same spot. They went 2-1. Lost to the Sixers, beat the Wizards, and beat the Knicks, and of course traded Anthony Davis for Luka Doncic. But Luka Doncic is probably going to be injured at least all of this week, so that technically doesn't move the needle much for them right now. Anthony Davis was already injured, so that trade doesn't really affect their rankings at the moment. Number 6 is going to be the Boston Celtics. They had a 3-0 week. They're going to jump up 2 spots. And they got 35-15. Undefeated week. They didn't play any good teams. They played the Bulls, Pelicans, and Sixers. So again, they didn't play anybody really good, but they got the job done. Number 5 is the Houston Rockets. They're going to drop 4 spots. They were number 1 last week. They went 1-3 this week. Not great. Did play some solid teams like the Grizzlies and the Knicks, but they also lost to the Nets this week. Their only win was against the Atlanta Hawks. Number 4, Oklahoma City Thunder. They went 2-1, not bad, but they are going to drop 2 spots. They beat the Kings and the Bucks, and they lost to the Golden State Warriors. Number 3 is going to be the New York Knicks. They stay at number 3. They had a 2-1 week. They beat the Nuggets and the Rockets and lost to the Lakers. So the reason I have them ahead of OKC is because they simply had a better schedule than the Thunder this week, and they both went 2-1. So that's why I'm going to keep them above OKC there. Number 2 is going to be the Cleveland Cavaliers. So they're going to jump back up to number 2, have the best record in the league currently. They went 3-0 this week. They beat the Heat, the Hawks, and the Dallas Mavericks. And number 1 is going to be the Memphis Grizzlies, actually. They went 3-0 this week, sitting at 34-16. I believe they're still like the 3 seed in the West, but with those other top 2 teams, losing this week, they're going to jump up here. Did really good against. They beat the Rockets, they beat the Bucks, and they beat the Spurs. So they played 3 solid teams. and won all of them. So looking really good right now for Memphis. Lastly, here are going to be our award races. Try to get out of the way. I'll talk about the leaders here. Shai is leading MVP. Cade Cunningham's leading Most Improved. Nikola Jokic is leading Clutch Player of the Year. Kello Ware is leading Rookie of the Year. Peyton Pritchard is leading Sixth Man of the Year. Kenny Atkinson is leading Coach of the Year. And Victor Wembanyama is leading Defensive Player of the Year. That is going to be it for this video. Thank you for watching. Make sure to check back next week for an updated Power Rankings list. And I will have a couple other NBA videos coming out this week as well.